trainers. And in the past, UNSCAP have done a lot of capacity building program for train the trainer. I think for the last 15 to 20 years, since the Geeta Karandawala, when she was in control, and Barry Cable time. But you see, every year there has been TOT programs by UNSCAP in ASEAN as well as ESCAP region, including Russia, including in Australia, New Zealand, and so forth, because the ESCAP region is much larger than ASEAN. And for the 15-20 years, this was done over many occasions. Kuntui myself were a product of this program as well in the past, 15 years ago for us, you know. But you can see, despite the pool of people they have trained over 15-20 years, how many association or countries come up with their own training program. Despite the fact with 15 to 20 years sponsored by UNSCAP, largely driven by them. So yes, we have a lack of this, but we should not have a lack of capacity building program. But then, with capacity building program, without clear mandate to produce a training structure, you can go for another 15-20 years. It's still the same. Because the process is important, not just the result. When they do a collective capacity building program, like UNSCAP program, there's no real KPIs. It was just capacity building, but there's no KPIs, key performance indicator. There's no return of results. That's the problem. And the return of the results can only happen if that particular organization or country, when they send the trainers, they have clear objective. In the end of the training, at the end of the training, they should try to develop a school or at least a training facility. But there isn't. So when we know for so many years, when they train the trainers, they go back and they do their own thing. They don't even contribute back to build a school or an institution. You see? So while we can try to garner funds, AFA can try to get Japan fundings and so forth, but in the end there must be KPIs. I can tell you this because in FIATA we train many countries, 50 countries already, more than the ASEAN, over the last 12 years. You know, in my department have train the trainer program for clearly more than 50 countries. And of the 50 countries, nearly 90% comes to positive result. They have schools. So today we have nearly 50 programs globally. But what about ASEAN? So that is the challenge. Is how we organize with KPIs. Whether it's funded by UNSCAP, whether it's by ALPHA, whether it's by Bank of Japan or Government of France, this is only a stepping stone. In the end, there must be a clear objective. That means, is the country organization ready to form their training structure? Or do they have a passion? Do they have a direction to make the training facility? Look at GMS countries. So many years of training. In the end, you know the problem. What happened? The trainers are ready, but is the organization ready to employ them to set up the school? No, clearly no.